What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel. And today we're playing some more Trials of Osiris with another Hunter build here, and one that I like quite a bit but I haven't got to touch on for a while. Now the star of the show is going to be the Frosties, the sister exotic to the Stompies, and when you're not the king of the crutch, you kinda go overlooked, don't you? And it's pretty sad because honestly Frosties are even better than Stompies for most part, and they get the job done amazingly well. But what do they do exactly? Well, they have something called rapid cooldown that says increase grenade, melee, and dodge regeneration while you're sprinting. Dodging increases your sprint speed. So essentially all the time when you're sprinting, and this is even if you're sprinting into a wall, if you sprint just for literally half a second, the second you press that sprint button, this activates. You get 200% extra regeneration on your grenade, melee, and dodge abilities. Besides that, every time you use your dodge, you're going to get a 6.25% sprint speed increase, which goes perfectly with a lightweight frame shotgun like we're using today to aggress upon our enemies perfectly. Now the Frosties on their own are already going to give us so much ability regeneration, but that's not where we're going to be drawing the line. You can see over here I have 3 ways to make ores of power: heavy-handed, firepower, and the Reaper mod. You can go ahead and pause if you want to read any of these more in depth, but just essentially know that they will make an overpower every time we get a kill with our grenade, get a kill with our empowered melee, or we get a kill with our weapons after using our dodge. Now when we pick up those ores of power, what are we going to get from them? Well, we're going to use our absolution mod, our ores of restoration, and our innervation mods to get a bunch of ability energy back. Like I said, in combination with our Frosties passive, we're going to get our abilities back extremely quickly, and that's not where we stop the line on the things that are giving us ability regeneration. So we do have 2 bomber mods, so every time we use our dodge, we get around 18 to 25% of our grenade energy back. Like I said earlier, when you dodge, you're going to get that sprint speed increase. Well, I like to pair that with a shotgun like this, a Reese Walker, which is a lightweight frame shotgun. These are going to give you as well a 6.25% sprint speed bonus. You put those 2 things together, and when you push with these 2 things activated, you get a 12.5% sprint speed increase, which is the max you can get in this game for the most part. Now, using that, we can get upon our enemies very, very easily, especially combined with our blink, which we are using today. Now, this is a great roll on the Reese Walker, obviously firmly planted, and Iron Reach here is going crazy, giving us max range, so we can absolutely map our enemies, and you'll see that in the gameplay today. But that's not where I draw the line, because I actually have the BXR-55 Battler, a lightweight frame pulse rifle that also has a different frame with it, which is the Legacy PR-55 frame, which gives it really good hip fire. But like I said, it does have that lightweight frame attached to it as well, so it gives you the extra movement speed. So no matter which weapon you have in your hands, you get that extra sprint speed that goes really well with your Frosties. This one has Demolitionist and Kill Clip on it, which felt really good today. I had a lot of fun with this gun. However, there is some clips where I don't use this and I switch to a different gun, which I want to show you here really quickly. That is going to be my God Roll Igneous Hammer, and if you're like, that's not a God Roll because I prefer this in this slot and this in this slot, I really don't fucking care. You need to understand one thing really quickly, because these comments are always like the most brain dead things to me. God rolls are subjective. If you like something else like Rapid Hit in this first column, and then you like that with Eye of the Storm, and that's your God roll, that's fine. You can have your own God roll, because everyone likes different things. I like chocolate Rice Krispie cereal. If you like regular Rice Krispie cereal, then that's your God roll cereal in the morning, slugger, and I'm fucking ecstatic for you. But guess what? When I want the snap, crackle, and pop of that pussy in my mouth, I want it to be chocolate flavored. So that's what I'm putting in my bowl in the morning. So hopefully that's a good analogy for you to understand how God rolls work. Now all that silliness out of the way, let's talk about the Arc 3.0. We're going to be using Gathering Storm, of course, only because you can't get Arc Staff for the most part in 3s, because it just has too long of a cooldown. Over here we have on our Gambler's Dodge, which regenerates our melee ability when we dodge near an enemy. That goes in tandem with our Combination Blow. When you get a kill with Combination Blow, it heals you, but it also gives you your class ability energy back, which is your dodge. After that, we have on Lethal Current. So when we use our dodge, we proc Lethal Current. This is going to give us an extra lunge range melee that jolts the enemy and does an explosion of damage. This is a very easy thing to proc and get a kill with, especially when you're pushing with 12.5% sprint speed increase. You can get on top of your enemies extremely easily and take them out with a shotgun and Lethal Current combo. Now after that, I am using flux grenades today. You're like, why flux grenades? I wanted to try them out. A friend of mine told me that they can one-shot, especially with something like Spark of Shock here, which lets our grenades use jolting, which it's true. These grenades do 251 damage. I will talk about the downsides and the upsides of them when we get to the gameplay, and I'll show you some good clips with them, but they are pretty fun. Over here we have on flow state. When we are amplified, we get a bunch of extra parts from our amplified because of flow state, as well as the fact that when we kill a jolted target, it will make us amplified. When it comes to our fragments down here, we have on Spark of Haste. That gives us plus 30 to our resilience, recup, and mobility while we are sprinting. You're going to see my mobility stat here is at 50. When I have my shotgun or my pulse rifle out, they are lightweight frame weapons, so that gives me plus 20, so I am always at a plus 70 mobility. When I'm sprinting, I get this, so I am at 100 mobility while I'm sprinting. On top of that, we have the extra regeneration from our Frosties, so we have a bunch of ability regeneration for our dodge. Don't freak out about that. After that, we have Spark of Ion, so we can get jolted targets killed and ionic traces, which gives us even more ability regeneration. Finishing it off, we have Spark of Recharge. That is while you're critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerate more quickly, which is just one more way to get our abilities back up. I think we have everything covered, so if you have any questions, please feel free to leave those in the comment section or join the Blinkville Discord server. I'm going to have that linked in the top right and in the description. If you want to leave me a like or subscribe at any point, I'd very much appreciate that. We're fastly approaching 8,000 subs, and I'm excited to get there. If you want to go that one step further and really support the channel monetarily, you can join my channel membership. That's my Puffer People and my Low Puffs, 2 different tiers for 2 different price points. Go ahead and click the join button below this video if you want to check out the details on that. But if all you have to give me is just a view on this video, I just appreciate that as much as anything else. All that being said, I think we're ready to get into this gameplay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and blink on into it. So this is my first match of the entire weekend. I actually filmed this one before my Warlock build, so if you didn't check that out, you can go watch that video next. But sometimes I just think the Warlock video, you know, even if I record it second, it turns out better, so I made it first. So you freaking sue me. You won't get away with it, you little rascal. Now, you can see here, I've never actually screwed around with the flux grenades until today. So you can see the first one I threw was, well, straight into a wall. So not the best start, obviously, but you can see right here why the combo of combination blow, lethal current, and the dodge that actually gives you back your combination blow when you dodge near an enemy is so good, because I just took out the entire enemy team while whiffing a good amount of my shotgun shots, to be completely honest with you, because I had that combo. Good follow-up from the teammate here is going to let us get a nice 2-piece, and that's very nice stuff. Ooh, should shout out the guy that I just killed. I didn't realize he was actually on the enemy team, but we'll get to that later. Fuzz Kid, because he was actually a viewer of the channel, and I'll show you later, he left me a little DM, and it was so funny because he like gets on my team and he tears it up. Bro was absolutely slaying out, and we won the match, and then I clicked launch to go to the next match, and then bro like sent me a message right when it was too late for me to respond to him. He was like, big fan of the channel. I was like, oh frick. So I was like, all right, I'm sorry that I couldn't respond to you there, but hey, give you a little shout out here. I'll show you later when that clip comes. But let's talk about the gameplay for now. So obviously the cooldowns are absolutely bussin' on this Frosties build. You should just keep your eyes on my cooldowns a lot of the times when it comes to this gameplay. There is one specific thing that I do want to point out. You're going to see rapid cooldown there on the left side of the screen. Underneath that, you're going to be seeing Spark of Haste. The only way you wouldn't see those is if you couldn't read, and honestly, if you're a Destiny 2 player, that could be the case. So Papa Roger's going to tell you that's the 2 things that you're going to be seeing on the left side of your screen when you just start running for a couple of seconds. There's the Flux Nade, by the way. So let's take a pause, actually. Let's talk about the Flux Nades really quick, because I have a few good plays with them here. That was one of them. What I want to talk about the Flux Nades is make sure you actually kind of like almost barrel stuff your enemies if you throw them. Don't go too far back. That one, you can see I stuck it. You can throw it from that length away. Just be careful. There's this really weird arch that they take right when you throw them. They actually go a few feet above where you're aiming for some reason. It's really weird. And if you put fastball on, it's even worse. The arch that it goes on is even worse. So I highly recommend don't use fastball with flux nades. Don't throw them like this. What I did with this or that nade right there, I cut off his angle and it made him scared. He backed up and I was able to push him and kill him. That's awesome. You know, it worked out completely fine. My abilities are flying up. You can see we already have our dodge up for the next round. We're already halfway to the next nade, and this actually is the next round. Look at this. By the time I got 2 lane, I already almost have my nade. Like, you get your abilities back up so quickly, kill that guy, and boom, my nade is ready right now. And it's just such good stuff. And you can see another good nade play here. I go around this guy, blink on him, throw the nade, and I don't even touch him anymore. As soon as I had the nade on him, I run, because you can see right there, 251 damage. I knew he was dead. I essentially just made a pipe bomb, walked into the urinal, pulled that guy's pants down from the back, shoved it in his scrawny little asshole, and said, "Sayonara, sucker," and walked away while I laughed as loud as Weird Al Yankovic when he cranks it on the accordion. So I didn't even feel bad because, you know, people do such goofy shit to me all the time that it's just honestly feeling pretty good. And the thing with the flux nades, beyond that right there, you see that, they don't have any tracking really. The tracking on them sucks. There's like none. You have to hit a pretty dang good skill shot with these flux grenades because they don't have like any magnetism to them. It's not like a magnet nade on a warlock where obviously it's called a magnet nade and it actually does have some magnetism. These things, I swear to God, they barely turn at all. You have to hit it about spot on. So those distances, like where I throw it right there, are what you're going to be looking for. But you can see when I get the kill with that thing, I'm instantly amplified, which obviously you can fly in after that. Very good stuff. Now, let's return to what I was talking about originally with your rapid cooldown and your spark of haste. If you have rapid cooldown going because you're sprinting with your frosties, you're going to be getting the cooldowns from that, right? And you can run into a wall and still get the cooldowns working from your frosties. That's awesome. If you run into a wall and your spark of haste is on, it will turn off. You understand me? So you don't get the plus 30 to your resil, recovery, and mobility. I think those are the three, yeah. When you have your spark of haste and you just run into a wall. So just keep that in mind. You can just like run into a wall and let your abilities build up before you go into a fight, but it's not going to be activating your spark of haste while you're doing that. So if you have the opportunity to run in circles or run in a straight line, like back and forth, then do that instead, because then you can activate your spark of haste and you can activate your rapid cooldown. I wanted to show you that clip just to show you how easy you can get the kills with the nades. I kind of just threw one and then a butthole there, so that was a bad round, but I just wanted to show it to you guys for an example. This is a good round, so we'll use this one as an even better example of how to actually use the build because I was having fun with it. You can see the nade, even if you don't direct stick, it still does pretty dang good damage. The jolt damage is what you're going to see pretty often with this thing. Jolt damage hits for about 51 as you were seeing right there, so overall I think the actual flux nade is supposed to be hitting for 200, and the 51 damage flies off of it actually being a jolt from the nade. So keep that in mind, as well as the fact that if there are enemies in close proximity to each other, let's say you walk into a lane, the enemies are holding some little ritual where they're trying to summon Cthulhu, and they're sacrificing their best friend, Netty Boy, over there, then you can walk in, throw in Flux Nade, repeating somebody's fat little cheekies, and it will do some jolt damage to the enemies around him. Not to mention there is a little bit of an AoE on the Flux Nades, not very big, but there is an AoE, so if they were within about 2 to 3 meters, they will take some damage from the actual Flux Nade as well, so you can get some pretty good stuff if the enemies are grouping up with those Flux Nades. And you're going to have them all the time. Oh, I had to show you the round because good team shots like that just feel so good. When you have actual good team shots and you guys just wipe an enemy team out down the lane, and it's funny, when I say you wipe them out, it's like, you know they don't wipe their ass, so you wiping them out is doing them a favor, because you're wiping off their crusty little cheeks too. And it's just beautiful stuff right there, you know? I really gotta say, that's the beauty of it all. I do want to remind you guys really quickly, there are a lot of cheaters on this weekend. I know last weekend I told you there was barely any cheaters on, and it was a good time to play last weekend. That's because last weekend the reward was the glaive. Do you know who wants the glaives? Freaks. Freaks want the glaive. Freaks that play with glaives want the glaive. And we're talking people who not only do they like anal in the bedroom, you know, that's pretty normal, right? These people like their girlfriend to dress up like a clown and peg them. Those kind of freaks, okay? So now that you've got that understood, those are the kind of people that wanted the glaive, so not the cheaters. Oh, here's Fuzzkid, by the way. See, he sent me that message, and I was like already requeuing, and I was like, oh, frick, and I thought it was just a message from my clan, because someone from the clan was already talking. So, hey, shout out Fuzzkid, thank you so much, I really appreciate you. I had to give you a shout out there, because I felt really bad that I didn't respond to your message, but we got the dub, though, and you were absolutely slaying out, my dude. I don't know if you're a guy or girl or whatever, but you're freaking awesome, so GG's to you. Now, that being said, a lot of cheaters on this weekend because it's Immortal, and it's the last Immortal weekend of the season, and it's the last one, I'm pretty sure, before Immortals going out of the actual loot pool for Trials of Osiris. Thank the heavens. I'm not a religious man, but I will start praying to any fucking god I need to make sure Immortal never comes back into my life again. I despise that gun. I would give up my firstborn child, don't have him yet, but I'm sure I won't like him anyways. I would give them up if it means Immortal never came back in the loot pool. Hate that gun, really ruined the entire meta for a long time, and it's still overpowered. But hey, it's finally going away. But that means there's a lot of cheaters on this weekend. One, because they're doing carries. People are paying for carries. So the cheaters are getting on, and they're carrying them to the lighthouse so they can get that loot, because people want that loot before it leaves D2. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of goofy people online this weekend, and even besides cheaters, there's just a lot of meta crutch. Like last weekend, I actually got a lot of fun games, and there were some people choosing cool-ass loadouts, and I was like having some fun. But this weekend, you're not gonna find that as much, so just be aware of that. You should see right here with the actual Reese Walker, it can map pretty well if you just you know, land your shots correctly, which I did really well this round on those two guys. Go and blink past this guy. I realized he was going to push me on these two reses, slide in, and then melee whiff above his head. Because we're in the year 2023, almost 2024, and Bungie can't fix melee whiffs. Why? Well, because you see, well, and because, and then if you don't forget, and yeah, that's it. So there's your explanation. That's basically what it feels like every time Bungie tries to explain something about the sandbox or why something in this game doesn't work. They're like, well, you have to understand that it's all such complicated coding. I don't freaking care. I don't give you goddamn 40, freaking 50, 60 bucks every year for you not to fix the game. Okay? I don't care if you gotta hire a guy named Josiah, a guy named Jeffariah, a guy named Amy. Fix the game. I can't do this anymore. My dick's shriveling up. It's sucking back into my body every time I play this game because nothing freaking works. Just make it work. Melee whiffs. How's my hunter whiffing? It's just his fist, bro. He's just punching. No one's even dodging. They're just standing still. Like, does my bro have Parkinson's? Is he just freaking throwing his fist up too high? I don't know. I'm going on a tangent. I mean, that's kind of the point of my videos. I feel like I go on tangents a lot because you guys like them for some reason. You also just like when I roast the shit out of enemy players. Hey, I mean, I roast him right there with my abilities. And you can see, got an ionic trace from killing that guy, I think, because he was jolted, which is another part. Like, I'm telling you guys, have you seen my bottom left of the screen this entire time? How often just like all of my abilities have been off cooldown? Or off cooldown. They've been up, right? It's just crazy. If you don't have a good roll of this thing, it's going to be in the loot pool for a while, so make sure you do get one at some point. This thing is so good for heavy ammo, which I almost never pick up heavy, and if I do, I usually like using Eager Edge Sword because it's just really fun, but that thing has crazy velocity on it, so you can get some free kills if you do want to get a good heavy. I would suggest you make sure you have a good roll of that thing. You can get a fun adept roll with an impulse amplifier and stuff, and it's really good, so make sure you have one of those. Now, all that being said, I should tell you guys, we are in the last play here after this one, so I want to say again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm gonna have a lot more videos out this weekend, most likely, because, you know, it's the end of the year here, or the end of the month, excuse me, so I just want to make sure I can get like a bunch of good content out for you guys on this weekend, so stay tuned for that. If you didn't watch my Warlock build from yesterday, make sure you go watch that video. I made a Speed God Warlock build where I used transversive staffs with the Rose hand cannon and a funnel web SMG and or retro futurist shotgun, whatever floats your little boaty. So you can go ahead and watch that build if you want to be a Speed God yourself. But that is going to do it for me today. So as always, I just have to say, have a great day, Guardians.